Welcome to our lesson on cell specialisation and differentiation. We've already learnt that multicellular organisms are made of lots of cells. However, these cells, although they share similarities, are not all the same. Cells can be specialised to carry out a specific function. The key questions for today are: why do cells become specialised? What are some examples of specialised cells? What features do these cells have? How do the features help the cell to carry out specific functions? What is the process that leads to cell specialisation? Key words that you will need to know are specialised, differentiation, tissue, subcellular, xylem, phloem. Different cells that make up organisms have different functions to carry out. Groups of cells that are similar are called tissues. The cells that make up tissues are specialised. This means they have features that make them suitable for their function. If we use the human body as an example of an organism, we encounter many different tissues, such as epithelial tissue or skin, which is a covering, muscle, which contracts and relaxes to enable movement, nerve tissue, which carries electrical impulses. Task: consider the different tissues in the human body. What makes them suitable for their function? Consider the epithelial tissue. It is smooth and waterproof, an ideal covering for external and internal parts of the body. Muscle tissue can stretch and contract, allowing movement. Nerve tissue creates long, thin fibres that conduct electrical impulses around the body. All of these tissues have properties because of the specialised cells that they are made up of. Muscle cells make up muscle tissue. The cells contain lots of fibres to allow them to stretch. They also have lots of mitochondria for respiration, so that large amounts of energy can be released for contraction of the muscles to allow movement. Many mitochondria is an advantage, as it is in this organelle that glucose and oxygen react to release energy. This energy is used by the cell to contract, causing movement. Nerve cells are also specialised. They have an elongated axon and dendrites on the end to join together. This means they can form fibres that extend throughout the whole body. The axon also has a myelin sheath. This acts as an electrical insulator, so none of the electrical signal passed through it is lost. Nerve cells help to carry electrical messages around the body to help an organism react to changes that happen around it. The nerve cells are long and thin, so that they join to form a long network, much like a circuit to carry messages around the body. Sperm cells are the male gamete or sex cell. Their function is to reach an egg cell and fertilise it. The sex cells are haploid cells, meaning they only contain half of the genetic material of a normal cell. This means upon fertilisation, a cell is made with characteristics from both parents, leading to variation. The sperm cell has a long flagellum. This acts as a tail to allow it to swim to the egg. The many mitochondria in the middle piece provide energy for the tail to move. Once a sperm cell reaches an egg, it must break through the outer membrane. The acrosome at the front of the head contains enzymes that break down this membrane. The sperm cell's primary function is to fertilise an egg. This is why it has a tail or flagellum to swim, and mitochondria to generate the energy needed for that movement. When it meets an egg, it must break through the membrane so that the nuclei can fuse. This is why it only has half of the usual number of chromosomes. During fertilisation, a full cell is made with the correct number of chromosomes. Task: describe how the structure of a sperm cell, a muscle cell and a nerve cell can make them well adapted for their functions. All of the cells we've learnt about today became specialised through a process called differentiation. This means that the cells acquire subcellular structures that enable them to carry out a function. These structures can range from extra organelles, such as mitochondria, or completely new structures, such as an acrosome or fibres. This process happens very early on in the development of an animal, for example a human, and once developed, only very few cells in the body can differentiate. Plant cells, however, retain the ability to differentiate, meaning new plant cells generated throughout the life of the plant can become specialised to become a number of different cells. Some examples of specialised plant cells include root hair cells, xylem and phloem cells. Root hair cells have a large surface area to absorb water and minerals from the soil. The xylem and phloem in plants allows for the transport of water, minerals and food throughout the plant. The cells stack together to form hollow tubes for the substances to pass through. Task: complete the following AQA exam question. Cells C and D are plant cells shown by the presence of the cell wall. Cell A is adapted for swimming, shown by the tail. Cell D contains chloroplasts for photosynthesis. Extension: why is cell specialisation, differentiation, important for the development and growth of a healthy baby from a fertilised egg? A human baby is made up of many different types of cells. Cell specialisation occurs to form different parts of the body. The specialised cells can then reproduce to create more cells of the same type to form all of the tissues that make up a human.